Okay, yeah. Yeah. Just so you are aware, we are now live on YouTube. Thanks.
Unless I break into one of his games and say, hey, I'm here, I need to talk to you. Can't talk.
If you call me, I'll answer, but my text, if you text me. Good luck.
I can still receive a call.
Sorry.
Sir, how are you? Good. I see. Better.
Occasionally.
Yeah, well, they're getting.
Tomorrow is that report, right?
Unit citation. Yeah, well, yeah, I think they're gonna be first, and then we're gonna be second. Even though it says it's third.
Hey, how you doing there, James?
What are you doing here?
Out with the Rotary Club.
Oh, okay.
I'm supposed to lecture and all that.
You never emailed me the thing for the QuickBooks. Remember that conversation? I'll email you tomorrow.
Oh, okay, yeah.
If you want, or you. No, whatever you want. Exactly. No, microphone. Yeah.
Somebody's got a Christmas sweater.
I was thinking this happened.
Casi, casi. Yeah, but the jitters.
Sorry, buddy.
Everyone, calling this meeting to order. Sorry about that. I'm calling the meeting to order. Call the roll, please.
Mayor Mitchell,
Here.
Vice Mayor Vasquez,
Yes.
Councilman Santeen,
Here.
Councilwoman Bravo. Here. Councilman Fahed.
Here.
There is a quorum present.
Thank you. Will you rise if you can for the invocation and the pledge of allegiance?
They're gonna.
Councilwoman Bravo.
Thank you. Father in heaven, we ask for your wisdom as we begin this meeting. We acknowledge that we need your wisdom and insights, and we welcome your presence among us. Guide us in our discussion and decisions, helping us to seek what is best for all involved. We trust in your perfect wisdom and ask that you direct our meeting according to your will. Amen.
Amen. Boy Scouts?
Please rise for the pledge of allegiance.
God salute.
Pledge allegiance to the flag, United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Good evening, everyone. Today, I'm going to do something a little different. And because I'm chairing the meeting, I'm going to ask Councilman Fahet to grab the gavel for a minute. Councilman, I am requesting a point of privilege.
Go ahead.
Thank you. Okay. As you all know, elections are coming up in a few months on April 1st, and the new council will swear in a week later. The process for running for office is already moving along. In fact, you can get certified for office as early as December 17th. Is that correct? 16th. Thank you. So I'm taking this point of privilege to inform all of you that I will not be running again for city council. The reason for this is that, and some of you who know me know that I've had some really serious health issues over the last few months. I have chronic asthma, which is I've had all my life, and I'm allergic to almost every tree in the city, unfortunately, but I'm not moving. And it's caused some problems for me, in particular, something called bronchiectasis, which is something that damages the airways in the lungs. So as an asthmatic, you can imagine that's like a kick in the head. So while my heart wants me to run again, because it's been a true honor and pleasure being your councilman, my brain tells me no. I've got to dedicate and continue the care that I've been receiving and focus on that part of my health, which has been substantive. This damage is irreversible, so with care, I can, continue to live a healthy life, but I've got a long road ahead of me. And so I decided that I wanted to address this publicly and let you know that I'm not running and that the elections will be coming up soon, and that I'm hoping that other Miami Springers will step up and run for office. We're actually going to have 3 city council positions open. So help us get the word out there. Thank you for allowing me to represent you these past 4 years, and God bless you. Happy holidays to you and your families. God bless Miami Springs. God bless the U.S. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Vice Mayor.
Victor.
Okay, we are moving along to the order of business. We've got some awards and presentations, correct? Oh, yes, I'm sorry. I'm going to ask you all if we can move up in order of business 12A, which is a presentation by James on the Optimist Club, since they're going to be doing a presentation early in the agenda. Can we move 12A up to right after the Boy Scouts do their presentations?
I'm okay with that.
Thank you, Walter. Okay. Chief, we have some exciting unit citation awards.
Yes, thank you, Vice Mayor, Council. We're going to have following officers please step forward. Sergeant Albert Vargas, Officer Michael Garcia, Officer Lazaro Rodriguez, Officer Adonis Lawrence, Officer Yelian Borges. There are several officers that are not present, family commitments, prior commitments, etc. Just like to recognize Detective Jason Hall, Officer Julio Fierro, Sergeant Jonathan Castillo, Detective Christopher Quiroga, as well as Officer Emilio Borges. Before I begin, since 1992, when our area was devastated by Hurricane Andrew, Miami Springs Police Department made a pledge basically that they would always attempt to assist any agency, any community in the state of Florida, or even outside if possible, during these kind of moments. This is the third area that we've assisted with over the past, whatever it is, 30 something years, 32 years. And this was, I was very proud that these men went and did what they did and assisted. And the amount of feedback we've gotten from city leaders, town leaders, and law enforcement in general has just been humbling, to say the least. So I'll begin. On October 5th of this year, as Hurricane Milton was developing into a hurricane, and just a week after Hurricane Helene struck Florida's Big Bend region as a major Category 4 hurricane that brought 140-mile-per-hour winds, storm surge, and torrential rain, the Miami-Dade County Association of Chiefs of Police reached out to all of the police chiefs within Miami-Dade County regarding assistance for the Treasure Island Police Department. The storm had destroyed both their police department and their city hall. Numerous other cities in the area also suffered severe devastation. 4 days later, on October 9th, Hurricane Milton struck Florida as a Category 3 hurricane. Additional assistance was requested and volunteers were asked to partake in a 7-day deployments for the next several weeks. 17 officers from our department volunteered to assist in the deployments. On October 14th, 6 officers departed South Florida and traveled to Tampa International Airport, which acted as base camp to begin rendering assistance. This was the first of 2 groups to travel to the affected areas to render assistance. On October 28th, 4 additional officers departed to assist for 7 days. During their deployment, I received an email from the operations manager of Gulfview Square, located in Port Richey, Florida. He expressed his appreciation and gratefulness for the department's assistance, stating, quote, "All of your officers have shown outstanding professionalism. We had the opportunity to work hand in hand with them at our mall location in Port Richey, Florida. Without agencies like yours, a whole lot of people's lives could have been a lot worse. Your crew was very positive and always had smiles on their faces. They put smiles on people's faces that needed an uplifting. They worked long hours on their feet and rarely took a break for a couple minutes. Agencies like yours make us Florida strong. On behalf of the entire staff of Gulfview Square Mall, we would thank you from the bottom of our hearts." This was common feedback I received from law enforcement leaders from the affected areas as well as town leaders, as I said before. This group of 10 officers selfishly committed themselves, leaving family and loved ones behind to assist their fellow Floridians in a time of great need. They all worked extremely long hours, both day and night, with little sleep. Average day was a 12-hour work shift with a 2-hour drive to and from. So they were 14-hour days. Unfortunately, when they returned to base camp, they had numerous meetings that they had to partake in with. Well, these men worked on 2 to 3, 4 hours of sleep a day, and they handled themselves perfectly. Sorry, lost my place here. They all worked extremely long hours, like I said, both day and night, had little sleep, but persevered throughout their mission, representing the Miami Springs Police Department and the city of Miami Springs through compassion, professionalism, and resiliency. Your actions honor not only the department and the city, but our law enforcement profession as well. With extreme honor and gratitude, I am proud to award the department's Unit Citation Award to you. Thank you for your commitment and courage, gentlemen.
Let them take a picture first.
Yes, yeah, we'd like to come up, but before, Chief and fellow officers, thank you so much for representing our city. I think it's a wonderful esprit de corps that the same way that you all responded to others in need out of the Tampa area, that I know that your brothers and sisters as responders will respond to us if we should have that need. So thank you, congratulations. Thank you, Devin.
Keep this quick. I don't do well reading off of paper, but Councilwoman Bravo wanted some words, so I'll give a couple. First off, thank you to Council and Mayor, City Manager JC Jimenez, and Chief Dio for allowing us to go represent the city of Miami Springs. I think that these gentlemen here alongside of me did it at a very high level, and going over there and seeing the destruction that those storms caused really put perspective in all of us, and gratitude are the two words that I could use to best describe it. There was people there that were devastated, lost everything, their cars, their house, family members that they lost in the storm, and it was just horrible out there. So it was good to go out there and give some support and represent Miami Springs to the highest level. Councilman Vasquez touched on it. If it were to happen down here, we know that our brothers and sisters up there up north are going to come and help us out. I also want to give thank you to all of our significant others. Almost all of us have kids, and our wives stayed home taking care of our kids, which is probably harder than what we had to do over there. So we thank you for that. And lastly, I want to say thank you to Tammy Romero. She did all of our FEMA paperwork. I saw supervisors up there at all hours of the day doing that paperwork, and I escaped that because of her. She helped me out immensely. It is a new software they used, and it was a nightmare to get it started and to actually do it. And she took care of all of that for me, which gave me an extra couple hours of sleep at night, and I really appreciate that. So once again, thank you guys.
Thank you.
I just wanted to share that I have a nephew, Alex Vasquez, who is a first responder in the Sanford area. And I called him right before the storm, and he was getting ready to deploy. He had put up all the shelters in his home, and he was leaving his family to go support this effort. So thank you. Thank you all. Now we're going to have a presentation by Patrick Martin of the Water Efficiency Manager on the Water Smart program and how residents can sign up. They can see the presentation, so.
Okay. Hi, my name is Patrick Martin. I'm from
Yeah,
Miami-Dade.
use the mic, use the mic.
You're better off facing this way.
Okay. Good evening, everybody. Thanks for having me here. My name is Patrick Martin. I'm from Miami-Dade Water and Sewer Department. I'm here to discuss Water Smart. I know there's been issues with water bills in Miami Springs over the last year or so. And so I wanted to educate residents and customers of Miami-Dade Water and Sewer that this is great software available to you that can help you understand your water consumption and hopefully answer any questions you may have on your own about your water use versus waiting for a high water bill and waiting for somebody from Water and Sewer to contact you. And so, so Water Smart is this great software. It's actually a customer engagement tool. And the idea is that when you sign onto the portal, it allows you to see when your water is being used over the course of a day or a week or a month or any period you choose. And it helps you understand your water bill and hopefully avoid a high water bill. So why are we using it? Why is Miami-Dade Water and Sewer Department providing this service? So it's just another customer service that we're providing to Miami Spring residents. And it helps customers engage with their water use, hopefully potentially avoiding a high water bill. It's very simple. So right now, it's available to all Miami Spring customers, residents of Miami Springs. It's about 4,200 accounts that are available. We'd like people to register onto the account, onto the portal. Right now, we have about 835 accounts that are registered, and that's about 21% of the customers that are actually it's available to. And our goal is to increase participation with the hopes that more customers will sign on and engage with their water use. So it's very simple. What you would do is you would receive a link if you request us to send, if you're interested in joining or signing on, we'd send you a link. And basically you click on that link and you would get a welcome message providing your address. And basically just going back, it would prompt you to, the screen is very light, but you would basically create a username, and that would give you and a password, and that would give you the ability to access WaterSmart. And basically, when you sign on to WaterSmart, you're going to get a water report that's going to be mailed to your home every couple of months. That's going to explain to you your actual water use, and it's going to give you a score. You're actually compared to other customers around you of similar size home, similar number of people in your home, and it gives you a score kind of to compare you what your average water use is compared to people around you. So that's really nice. It provides context. It gives you information on how you can reduce your use. You can personalize your actions. And so you get this this actual paper report. You can also get an email. You don't have to sign on. You can opt out if you want. And so it's very easy to use and customer friendly. When you sign on to the portal, this is what you see. It'll actually tell you what your average water use per day is. It'll give you hints and ideas of how you can reduce that use. It actually can monitor where most of your water use is in your home. So if your bathroom is the biggest use of water, it'll give you recommendations on how you can reduce your water use in your bathroom by installing high efficiency fixtures. And outdoor use, they'll give you ideas how to reduce your outdoor use. And we have rebates that Miami-Dade County offers for both indoor and outdoor water use to help you buy these fixtures and reduce the cost by offering rebates, and it'll give you that information as well. Also, you can sign up for alerts. So if what happens is that there's an algorithm in the software kind of tracks your water use, and you kind of have an average use, and when you go above that use, it'll send you an alert letting you know that you have an above average normal use. It could be a leak, or it could just be you using a lot of water, but it notifies you of that, so you become cognizant of it and maybe search your house to see if you have a leak. The idea is to try to avoid a high water bill. And you can do that all through the portal. And you can also get alerts onto your phone. And this gives you an example of one of the pages on the portal that'll actually show you, let me see if there's a dot here. So those blue bars are an hourly consumption. So you can look at your hourly consumption or daily consumption. And it's just a really good way for you to engage with your water use. And so it'll track your use over time, hourly, daily, or yearly, whichever you choose. It actually will compare you to similar households, like I mentioned. It'll provide you information on how you can reduce your use and let you know about the rebates that Miami-Dade Water and Sewer offers. It'll help you find leaks if you do have one. It'll actually walk you through to locate the leak. You can tailor recommendations. You can get savings estimates. You can add people onto an account. It can be more than one user. You can add on multiple accounts onto one user. It'll send you notification and alerts, and it just will help you communicate better with Miami-Dade Water and Sewer Department. And that's basically it. If anybody wants more information, please contact me. Erica, you have my contact information. You can contact Erica, or I'm around if you have any questions. I'll be here for a few minutes. So
Sure.
thank you very much.
Could you hold on, Mr. Martin?
Yes.
I want to know if there's any comments or questions from the dais, but I want to go to the mayor who's online to see if she has any question. Mayor, you have any
Yes.
questions or comments?
Thank you, Vice Mayor. I actually asked Patrick to make this presentation tonight because I'm familiar with the program. I'm signed up for it. I've been signed up for it for several years. And I can tell you, it is just easy to use. You'll get an email saying your water usage has gone up 3 times, in the last day or so. So you can figure out what's going on. It's really helpful. We're all interested. There's been concerns about our water bills, our water usage, but it also serves the purpose of helping us conserve water, being a little bit more minded as to how we can reduce our water consumption. And Patrick is the water efficiency manager. I believe that's your title, Patrick, for
That's
water and
correct.
sewer. And
Yes.
I can tell you, he is so accessible, just always willing to make presentations and to assist people with their water consumption. I think it's something ideally we should aim for everyone in our community to sign up for this program. It can only be useful to us. There's no negative issues to it. Thank you. Thank you,
Thank you,
Patrick.
Maria. Yeah. Thank you, Maria. And the goal is definitely to reduce water bills, help people understand their water bills to prevent any of those issues that had happened in the past. There is somebody here from customer service, from Miami-Dade Water and Sewer Department Customer Service that's with me. If anybody has any questions about their water bill this evening that here, feel free to come and talk to us and we'll help you out.
Thank you, sir.
Okay,
Any
thank you.
questions here, comments?
No, thank you, Patrick.
Thank you.
Thank
Just
Thank
one
you,
thing I want to,
Patrick.
I want to clarify before I move on to the next point. I want to be clear that I will stay as city councilman until my term is up in April, okay? I'm not leaving before my time. All right, now we have the Boy Scouts, 2 Eagle Scout projects coming up. Gentlemen?
Good evening, Mayor, Vice Mayor, Councilman, JC, Tammy, Erica. Thank you for having us. I'm James Fulton with Boy Scout Troop 334. We have 2 Eagle candidates who would like to do 2 additional projects here in the city, on city property. So I will let them, we have some, oh, perfect. So we'll let William go first so he can describe his project. And then I have Maximo San Martin, and who will describe his project. So go ahead, William. Introduce yourself.
Thank you. Hello, my name is William Gomez. I am 15. I'm in the AIE. I'm currently a Life Scout. I've been in the Boy Scouts for like around 5 or so years. My Eagle Scout project is to replace those 2 old broken down benches near City Hall with newer recycled plastic benches made out of 1,000 pounds worth of plastic bags each. How I plan on making all these plastic bags is by, that's by my plan to make all these plastic bags to make these benches is to go to different elementary schools to make fundraisers after I ask the principals there, fundraisers to collect plastic bags and they have to give me a certain like amount of plastic bags to qualify for a pizza party. So whichever homeroom in that school gives the most amount of plastic bags to me gets a pizza party provided by me, which is like gonna be one of the bigger costs in my project. Another thing I'm going to be doing is I'm going to have envelopes and flyers and a GoFundMe to not only collect plastic bags, but also to get money to, set these things up. For example, the pizza parties, which will cost around $1,000, $670 ish, to buy garbage bags to hold all my plastic bags and then to put them in boxes to make sure they're safe. How these plastic bags can be turned into benches is what you may be wondering right now. There's a company called Nextrex, which has a recycling challenge where if I provide them 1,000 pounds of plastic bags, they turn it into a bench for free. So, yeah. One of the big reasons I'm doing this project is because it's a hard thing to do. It helps the environment from preventing plastic bags from going into the ocean, choking turtles, dolphins, sea life, which can also track back to humans because when we eat like fish, they could have accidentally digested plastic micro pieces and we intake that, and that damages our bodies as well. A lot of people tell me, William, why don't you just get the money to buy these benches? I feel personally that this kind of defeats the entire purpose of my project. It isn't just to provide seating for the people of Miami Springs, but it's also to provide them the seating of a better future.
I think it's an extraordinary project, frankly. I'm ready to donate some bags. When I heard about it, I thought, well, that's interesting. I've been with the Scouts for a long time, and they come up with some really interesting projects. And like you said, it's a project it's a service to the community. So it defeats the purpose to just go out, and whatever, raise the money for the benches. And those two benches that James showed earlier, yeah, they need to be retired like we do with the flags, right? Anyone have a comment?
Yes, through the chair. Will you have a drop-off station where residents can drop off plastic bags? Are you are they specific plastic bags or Publix bags or?
I forgot to mention like before by accident.
Okay.
These are like grocery store bags, like Target bags, Publix bags, Milo's bags. So my idea is I'm going to be going to these different companies and programs that I just mentioned. Like for example, Publix, they already have a plastic bag collection program. So my idea and plan is to go up to them and be like, "Hey, can I get some plastic bags?" Or, like, okay, sounds low.
Remember you wanted to put a collection box.
Yeah, I wanted to put like a collection box not only at the Milam's or Publix, but also here to help like allow people to donate better instead of having to go out of their way and drive like all the way to my house to drop it off.
Yeah, I mean, I go to Publix almost every day. When you become a parent, that's where most of your money goes. So I can give you bags almost every day.
Yeah.
So if we have a drop off here, it might be easy. Good.
Anyone else? Did I understand correctly? It takes about 1,000 bags?
1,000 pounds.
1,000 pounds?
1,000 bags would be the
1,000 pounds,
easiest
that's-
thing.
Yeah. That's a lot of bags.
This isn't my project, but I do want to congratulate William on coming up with this. Actually, these benches here are the ones that the Lions clubs did out by the memorial for the flight that went down in the Everglades many moons ago. And those benches are from that company. So they are from Nextrex. They are the recycled benches. And so when we were out there, when they were doing the ribbon cutting, William came up to me a couple of days later and said, I want to do that for my project. So it's taken us about a year and a half to get everything organized. We're finally rolling down the tracks with this, and it's a really exciting project. He's 16 or 15. He's almost 16, and he has a couple of years to do this project. It's going to take a while. 1,000 pounds per bench, and he wants to do 2 benches. That's 2,000 pounds of bags. So luckily they have collection centers locally. The bags, the benches are out of, I believe it's the Tampa area, and they'll take them up there in pieces, like 50-pound chunks, because to store 1,000 pounds of plastic grocery store bags is a lot of cubic footage. But anyway, so I just want to give a shout out to our community in the sense that through the Lions Club, working with the Boy Scouts, through the Optimist Club, through the Rotary, we all come together to help out this community. And it's just great to have a crossover with that, and this inspired this young man to now want to take on a project to collect 2,000 pounds of grocery store bags. So
Thank you, William.
Good job, William.
Good luck with that project.
Thank you. Have a nice day.
You too. Maximo.
Hello, my name is Maximo San Martin. I'm 17 years old, and I go to Doral Academy. I've been in the Scouts for a long time. I joined as a Cub Scout in about 3rd grade, so maybe about 10 years almost. I am also doing a bench, but along westward. I'm doing 3 of them, one on each end, and then one roughly about the middle. I'll show you in a second. I'm working with a very close friend of mine and also Eagle Scout. My name Matthew Mejia. He did the flag retirement box, and with him and his mom's company to design, fabricate, and place these benches along here for our citizens to have a place to sit, to socialize, or to take a rest while taking a walk or a run. I had these designs drawn up with Matthew, and I also have this here. You wanna pass it around? And these what it's going to be made out of is a plastic material called starboard. It is usually used for boats, so it is very weatherproof. It is very durable, and it will last the test of time. I brought a sample, as well as you can see that they can be engraved and customized as I would like or as you would like. So all the blue parts on the design would be black. You couldn't put, oh, it was complicated with him. So all the blue parts are gonna be black, and then all the black parts are gonna be a khaki kind of color. Kind of like my shirt. Maybe a little darker. I don't know. It'll be a khaki color. And the khaki plastic or the khaki starboard will be a wood grain texture. So it's quite nice actually. I don't know how to describe it. It's like plastic, but it's still kind of like soft. It's nice to the touch. And the black is gonna be a just starboard. It's not gonna be super fancy like the wood grain, but it will still be very nice and visually appealing. With the I will not be collecting bags like William, but I have a budget. I drew up a budget of about $2,400 with everything included, all the materials to fabricate and build the benches, as well as all the concrete to have them set in place and sitting nicely, making sure they don't go anywhere.
Are you using a GoFundMe?
Yeah, I plan on utilizing a GoFundMe, and also I will be sending out some letters to family and friends. So, and I will be setting up a car wash at Grace Lutheran. Yeah,
Okay.
probably around February. I have to finalize those dates and the location for that, but it will be coming up very soon. Look out for that.
Perfect. Thank you.
That's wonderful.
It is.
Yeah. Any comments, Mayor?
I just wanted to thank you, Vice Mayor, to ask William for the recycled plastic bags. Perhaps if you set up a site maybe at the rec center, senior center, at City Hall, that residents can drop in their recycled plastic bags for a while so that you can collect them. I'm sure we can work with you with that.
Unfortunately, I also forgot to mention I was also gonna plan on asking the senior center and the adult center to also help me. Currently, my grandma has been going to the senior center, and the seniors over there have been giving her all their plastic bags. So
Oh, okay, great. That's great. Okay, good.
Real bag lady.
The bag.
So we can tell residents to drop off their bags at the senior center.
Thank you.
So in closing, Mayor and Vice Mayor, Councilman, Councilwoman, if the city could, if there's room in the budget for a small donation towards each project, that would be greatly appreciated by these scouts as well to start. So I don't know if there is anything in the budget, but maybe you guys can discuss it, and then I'll follow up with the city manager, excuse me. All right. Thank you.
Vice Mayor, I wanted
Yes.
to just suggest we did put something in place about 2 years ago for these kinds of functions, and I think it's up to $500 that we can allocate for projects, for school projects and different requests like this. So I think that this might be something we want to do through that. And Erica's probably familiar with the process, but I think we set aside a certain amount of money, and that each request could be up to $500.
Okay.
So through the chair, just to be clear, each scout member could get 500, or it would have to be divided?
Maybe one divided between.
Total 500. Got it. Yeah, I'm on board with that. I mean, you need a little kickstart.
Does anyone want a motion?
Yes.
Let's make a motion.
Go ahead.
Let's go ahead and make a motion to approve a $500 donation to,
William and Maximum.
Be divided?
how do you want me to adjust this? Because I have you guys under the Optimist Club.
No,
it's-
Troop 334.
It's under a,
Boy Scout, Boy Scout Troop 334.
under awards and
presentations,
item
So we'll make a motion to approve a $500 donation to Troop 334.
Second that motion.
And second,
Yes.
okay. All vote?
Vice Mayor Vasquez,
Yes.
Councilman Santeen,
Yes.
Councilwoman Bravo,
Yes.
Councilman Fahet,
Yes.
Mayor Mitchell.
Yes,
The motion carries.
Thank you,
Alright.
guys. Good luck.
Luck,
with the-
guys. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Good luck.
And while we got you there, James, we had the item from, we moved the item
The
up.
clubs,
we
the
can
club.
Take that now.
Okay.
Good.
All right, perfect.
This is for the partial closing circle.
Right, so
Oh, I see. I got
Good.
them confused. There we go.
that's okay. Good evening again. So let me bring up George and Tony. We're from the Optimist Club. And I'll let, Tony likes to talk, so I'll let Tony talk your ear off.
First of all, I want to say thank you. Scouts, thank you. The Optimist Club would actually like to match what the city just gave to
Aw,
these young
thank
men.
you.
So we'll bring it up at our board.
See that and race? No. I'm kidding.
Now comes the request.
Yeah. Well, we're actually here to say, we used to do the barbecue cook-off on the circle. All the proceeds go to help the young kids in the community and outside the community. The reason we did this, I would even take vacation just to do this. The only reason I wanted to do this is because all the money goes to the kids. Baseball asks for money, we give them $1,000 to $2,500 out of the proceeds. Football needs money, we give them $2,500. Soccer needs money, we give them money. Anybody that really needs money, this is what it's for. We're here to help kids in the community and people in need. The high school, I coached high school soccer one year, and one kid didn't show up to practice because he had to go peel onions, literally, because he had to feed his daughters and his mom because she didn't have a job. The Optimist said, you know what? Let's go ahead and buy groceries and items. We took them. He was so shy, he didn't want to buy anything. We ended up buying like $300 worth of food. So these are the things we do. We don't do it to brag or anything. We love doing it because it's heck, I'm a product of that. I've been living in Miami Springs. I played tackle football when I was 5-6 years old here in the 70s. I've been coaching here for over 25 years. We are all products of it. This young man here played soccer. I coached him. He's played flag football. Most of the people that are here are products of something that the Optimist Club had to do with. So we love it. We want to help. And we're asking for the city support again. What we're asking is for help for the police department and from Public Works, help the barricades,
The partial
closure for the day. Usually it's from we asking for March 8th from 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. We'll provide porta pots for the event like we've always done. And we ask for, the police to help out. Public
What
Works.
day of the week is that? Is that a Saturday?
That's a Saturday.
Saturday, yeah.
Saturday.
Let's look it up.
And I think, what else do we do?
Well, we had brought up in the August financial meeting for the $2,500 donation to the Optimist Club as well. I believe it was. So, we just had to formally come and ask and come before us.
And again, this is not just for youth. The public loves coming out here. We have bands out there. We have music. It's an all-day event. Families can come out there with their lawn chairs, listen to music. We give out free bikes. No kid has to pay for a raffle ticket. We do raffles all day. We give out free bikes, free PlayStation, whatever. We do that all day. But again, this is more of a community event to raise money for kids.
Through the chair.
Yes.
I'm on board with everything. I just wanted to know because I'm a little bit not unfamiliar. I know you guys, I think it's coming back after a couple of years, right?
Yes, we stopped right when COVID, in
Right.
2019, 2020, we stopped. And then we just,
I got it. So my question is for the closure, I'm a stickler for the closure of the circle.
Mhm.
My question is, I'm not gonna oppose this, but have you guys looked at other locations, like maybe along Curtis, where it's like a continuation of their farmer's market. You guys can continue and you have everybody kind of there ready. They can park. Is that like an area that would work for you?
The
like, over
reason
there?
they told us before not to do it there is because you probably would still have to have a partial closure of the two lanes on the inside, because you have over 1,500 to 2,000 people that go to this event.
Oh, it's a lot.
No, it's a big event. It's almost not as big as the River Cities, but there's a lot of people that go.
Through the
So-
chair, if I may, and I think this is, you know, the Optimist Club, you know, all of our civic clubs in Miami Springs, I think everyone knows how near and dear they are to my heart and what they do for our community. But, and especially since COVID, one thing I have heard from a lot of the restaurants that are on the circle, around the circle, and we've got new ones participating in that area, is that whenever we close the circle, it really impacts their business. I mean, they might as well shut down for the weekend or the amount of time that we have it, because they wind up getting very little revenues. People are using, you know, are buying food elsewhere. They're being used just for the restrooms, and they try to stay open just because they don't want to appear closed during this time. So I agree with Councilwoman Bravo. Is there something else we can do with this, that we're not closing down the circle and hurting the surrounding businesses around the circle for a full Saturday? Also, another thing to consider is that very often when the circle's closed, I know a lot of people just kind of wander around. They don't bother to figure out what's going on or stop or anything. They just kind of make their way around. If it's something a little more accessible, and perhaps on Curtis Parkway, at the very beginning of Curtis Parkway, or a partial close down of the circle, you know, near Curtis Parkway, but not impacting the businesses along the circle. If we can consider something like this, because things have changed a lot since 2020. And we do have a lot of new businesses on the circle, and more to come. But you know, for them to lose a day of revenue is serious to them.
Hi, Mayor, this is George Loeb. It is a partial closure. The last two events that we've done, it had all the last two events were partial closures specifically because of that. We recognize that businesses get impacted, so it is only the inside lane that gets closed on the circle. So we don't have a full closure of the circle.
Okay, so traffic can still go around the circle, and patrons that want to patronize the other restaurants on the circle would still have full access to them, George? Former Councilman Loeb?
Yes.
Okay.
Correct. That's we did that, like I said, the last two times because of that. We are very cognizant of our businesses around here, and we don't want to impact them in any way. In fact, we want to make it so that if people come out there, they can also go and visit other restaurants to eat. So yes, it is. We are asking for a partial closure, not a full closure.
Okay, and then the other thing is, you're also asking for Public Works and police assistance for that, right? So
Right.
there's a cost to that too. I'm wondering if our cost of what you're asking for of the 2,500, we can defer to the services that we provide in police and Public Works.
We were asking for the $2,500 simply for a startup cost, in addition to the in-kind for the police and Public Works. We're aware that there is a cost to those things, but if we have to, then we will do that.
JC, do we have an idea of what the in-kind cost is for the police and Public Works for this event?
At this moment, no, no, I don't. I need to see that we haven't really spoken detail as far as, you know, how much manpower, what exactly we need.
For the police, usually it's from 7 to 7.
Okay.
It's the hourly rate.
But it all depends on how many officers we
And then,
need.
So So what we might consider, and I apologize for not being at the meeting. I just haven't been well this weekend and I'm still not 100%. But what you might consider is the amount that they've requested in kind for police and public works, and then the difference to be provided to the Optimist Club in cash.
Mayor, I'll get with the city manager and work out the details in the next couple of weeks.
Okay.
All right.
We also, we're a nonprofit 501c3, so every time we do this event, we actually go to the city, request also to let us sell beverages, alcoholic beverages, which we will pull a permit as a 501c3. We're allowed to do it 3 times a year. And usually the city allows us to do that when we do these events, and we'll provide obviously the certificate that we get. We just need to get signed off by the city once we get all these permits and applications signed. That's all.
Also along with the insurance and umbrella for the city.
Okay. Any other questions or comments? Your motion?
I mean, I think that,
No.
I'm sorry.
Okay.
I think based on what I heard, there's a motion to approve this. I don't think
To approve
Maria's
closing.
opposing. Right.
The partial closing.
The part, where is the closing gonna be exactly? Because I don't know how traffic's gonna go around and then you're gonna have
We just closed the inner lane around the circle where everybody's gonna cook, and we do everything inside the circle. So it's the inner lane only that's closed.
Okay, and so part of the police presence is also to help foot traffic? Because if you got one lane open, people are crossing, right?
Yes. Correct.
It's very similar to the setup, and correct me if I'm wrong, Chief. It's very similar to the setup that we saw, not this past Saturday, but the previous Saturday for the tree lighting ceremony. The inside lane was closed, and they had officers there, where they were crossing. So there was a police presence, but it's not a total full closure at all, because you still had cars circling around.
So can we, through the chair, can we get consensus for James and for the Optimist Club to work through the city and get all the details worked out? And then, I mean, I think you guys can put your heads together and get this worked out.
Yes.
I have no problem with that.
Yeah, I think that's.
So,
Motion?
Yeah. Walter?
so what are we motioning if they haven't put their heads together yet?
Well, they're requesting partial closure.
Yeah, the closure is fine. I know that, so they're requesting $2,500 plus an in-kind donation of the public works and the police cost, but we don't know what that's gonna be yet. So what I'm saying is, and then I believe the mayor proposed doing the in-kind donation, whatever the shortfall, if there is one may be, then have it get up to 2,500. But barring having those figures, because they haven't worked with JC yet, I mean, I'd be happy to motion to approve the event and the partial closure. And then I think that once you guys work with staff,
Yes.
we
let's
can
do it
get
that way.
this.
Yes.
Right. Okay. So a motion to approve the request to have the partial closure of the Optimist Club barbecue event on the March of 2025.
Get a second?
I'll second that motion.
Second. Okay. Call the vote.
And what we might want to include, if someone wants to make a motion, is the 2,500 that they've requested, and to be worked out with the city manager as to whether in-kind service, the in-kind services that we provide, and the difference goes to them. If I don't know if they need that now, or if that's something you can wait to work with the city manager on.
Mayor, I'm gonna meet with James and iron out those details.
I think
Okay.
that's in the. Yeah. All right.
Vice Mayor Vasquez,
Yes.
Councilman Santeen,
Yes.
Councilwoman Bravo,
Yes.
Councilman Behet,
Yes.
Mayor Mitchell.
Yes.
The motion carries.
I just want to say one thing just for next year, because I'm sure you guys are going to continue to do this. Maybe we could look at other venues or outlets around the city, like a park, maybe a green area that of the Curtis Mansion area where you can host without having to close. And I think it'll be a little bit safer.
Okay.
Just to try something new for next year.
We will.
Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you.
Gentlemen, thank you.
Thank you all. Thank you very much.
Okay, we have the Rotary Club presentation. Nancy, Charlie?
Sure. This is
I don't
the,
mind.
this is the bench. All about benches today. Oh, we got 2 benches.
Mayor, Vice Mayor, City Council, City Manager, Tammy. Thank you for having us here tonight to make this presentation. Your hard work and your cooperation with the Rotary Club and the other civic groups, Lions Club, et cetera, Women's Club. We've made a big difference on Westwood Drive with the lighting, and it looks great. One of our members, Gogo Gomez, started something this year on Curtis Parkway, and little by little, things are really looking nice, getting people into the spirit. So I guess tonight's theme is Westwood Drive park benches. So, well, it's okay. We support them. So we started talking, Nancy and I, and then the group decided to support. The idea was we see people walking on Westwood Drive all the time with kids on strollers or elderly, and there's no place to sit. So we thought, it'd be nice to donate benches. I guess we can help collect bags too, but we're more like into donating the actual benches. So, so we met with the city manager and he thinks that that's something that's doable. So I'll turn it over to Nancy because she's got some other stuff to say.
Well,
Hazel.
yes, one of the things that our club has already committed to as a community service project with this idea, I don't know if all of you remember a wonderful lady that used to live here in the spring. She passed away a couple of years ago. Her name was Hazel Reiser. She left in her estate quite a bit of money to the Rotary Club and to the Women's Club. And with a lot of that donation is going to come the ability for us to donate at least 4 benches in her memory. We would like to have her name on the bench. And one of the things we'd like to offer to the community, businesses, civic organizations, is to also purchase this bench. We won't make any money on the benches. They're going to be very similar to the ones that the Lions Club has, as these young men are going to produce. And then they can have their name on the bench as well. So these are the samples, look almost exactly like it. We would also like to have the help of Public Works to install them for us. We don't have the ability to do that, but that's our proposal. We'd like to start them at Flamingo. I don't know where.
Where are they going to be located?
Well, there's 12 blocks that have no benches. At Flamingo, I think all the way to Hammond, and we'd like to have at least 2 benches on each block, right? So 24 benches maybe, but I don't know where these 2 young men are going to put their benches.
So Williams benches are going to be right in front of the
Right.
fire station?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
And then Maximo said 3, one at the beginning, one in the middle, and one at the end. So maybe a little coordination with James, just so that.
It's a good idea.
since
Well, we
there's-
have commitments already for about, I'm going to say 8 benches.
Nice.
I think we have more.
More?
Yeah.
So we would like your approval to go forward with this project and to get not financial support, but physical support for your Public Works to help put them in, ground them. I would like their opinion on which would be the most stable one to use. I can work with Mr. Pena on that and maybe go forward with it.
All right.
I don't think that needs a motion, right? Just consensus.
I don't really think it needs a motion.
Staff?
Actually, if you don't mind doing a motion, officially accepting this,
Sure.
this offer, this donation, if you will.
Absolutely.
I already met with, Juan, actually, during our meeting, I brought Juan in, talked about the installation, not gonna be a huge earth shattering problem. We do want to install them on slabs and we'll move from there.
Yeah. Can you, JC, can you help coordinate between them and JC just so that since there's some other benches that at least Maximo's project is gonna
No,
put-
absolutely.
Yeah.
It's really funny because the Eagle Scouts they presented their projects, and like 2 days later, I get a call saying, hey, hey, we got an idea. And I'm like, wow, everybody wants to sit on Westwood.
Great minds,
This is the year of the
minds
bench.
think alike.
You're the bench.
Thing. Everybody in the community. is-
Absolutely. So
But-
through,
You're gonna make a motion?
yes, through the chair, motion to approve the Rotary Club's project to install benches along Westwood Drive, donating the benches and working with staff in order to have Public Works help them to get them installed.
I'll
Can I have a second?
Oh,
Second?
sorry. Yeah.
Because you wanted to say something.
Oh, yeah. I'll second the motion. And I just want to say thank you because this is adding, not only in memory of someone that was so special, but also adding value to our city. And we're always so working with the budget and where we can find the funds. And when things come like this, I feel like our community also backs us up when we need a contribution. So I'm totally on board and I thank you for doing this for us. And Public Works, I mean, that's the least that we can do.
I just wanted to add one more thing to this great project is that through the Rotary Club, we've been able to get the high schools, AEI, Miami Springs Senior High, and Jose Marti to create interact clubs, which are basically the first step to then they're like junior Rotaries and hopefully they become Rotarians in the future. So we thought this could be a good segue for them to get involved with the community right away and challenge each of those schools to come up with a bench as well.
Thank you. All right, we have a motion. Mayor, any questions or thoughts?
I just want to thank the Rotary Club as always, the commitment that they have for our community of improving our community, making it a more desirable place to live in and to visit is exceptional. And this is another example of that. So thank you so much.
All right, call the vote.
Thank you, Mayor.
Sure.
Yes, call the vote, please.
Vice Mayor Vasquez,
Yes.
Councilman Santeen,
Yes.
Councilwoman Bravo,
Yes.
Councilman Behet,
Yes.
Mayor Mitchell.
Yes.
The motion carries.
All right.
Happy holidays and
Happy
thank
holidays to you. All right, open forum. Do we have folks signed up? Okay. All right, so we have a couple of people signed up. I'm just to remind you, this is an opportunity for you to speak to the council. We don't respond to what is said, but you can always follow up with us individually on these matters. And you're allowed 3 minutes. So Sabrina Carrillo.
Good evening, everyone. I want to first thank you for giving us the opportunity to be here. I'm going to be speaking for my father as well, Raul Carrillo. He's on the list,
he's
so I'll
on the
be
list.
taking his time too. I'm here today as a concerned resident of the apartment building on South Royal Poinciana Boulevard, currently undergoing construction for water pipes. This construction has led to the closure of our parking lot, and residents have been subjected to parking our cars across the street for weeks now, as well as the dust from the construction and parking site as well. First, I'd like to acknowledge the need for improvement and renovations, but it's essential that this work is done in a way that respects the health and well-being of the people who call this building home. Over the past weeks, many of us have experienced the disruptions caused by the ongoing construction, not just the inconvenience of having to walk farther and cross a busy street that doesn't have an actual crosswalk, but most critically, the dust that is permeating our cars, our homes, and our lungs. Not only is the dust and whatever other airborne particles within it inconvenient, but these have actual health consequences for children and the elderly, two populations that are very much present in our building. These are groups of people who may be immunocompromised more easily than others, without mentioning those with pre-existing respiratory conditions like asthma. I don't think it's unreasonable to expect that the air we breathe in our homes and outside of it remains safe. For the first phase of this project, starting on October 15th, during weekdays, for 4 days, construction was actively happening from 9 p.m. to 5 a.m. We were confused and wondering how it was authorized. This was, of course, disruptive to the residents trying to get a night's sleep before work in the morning. As for the actual construction in our parking lot, they began working for 2 weeks consecutively on November 11th, marking a month of our parking displacement. Then Thanksgiving week for 2 days, Monday and Tuesday, and the following week only on Monday, December 2nd. We were then advised that there was a piece missing for construction, so it would have to be halted for a while. And then they finally came again today to break ground once again to fix a mistake that was made. We were told that this project would take 2 weeks. Obviously, we have passed that timeline. A possible solution could be to do the same thing that was done with the pipes on the intersection of Sheridan and Oakwood. We're asking that you simply empathize with our concerns, keeping in mind that we're residents of Miami Springs. We're just looking for our lives to go back to normal, and we ask that you work to solve this as quickly and smoothly as possible so that we can all enjoy the upcoming holiday season. Thank you, and I hope you enjoy the rest of your evening.
Thank you, Sabrina
Thank you.
and Raul. Former Councilman Bob Best.
Thank you, Mayor and Council. It's funny not seeing Maria up here, don't it? First off, I'd like to just mention to you all that I was saddened earlier this evening to hear of Mr. Vasquez's decision that he took. The city's going to be losing one fine public servant. And secondly, since I have all of you here at once, it was my intention to be here tonight to wish everybody a very Merry Christmas and Happy New Year. And thank you for doing the work of the people.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Mr. Bob, are you not gonna miss me? Or it's just from Mr. Vasquez, Councilman Vasquez?
Of course I will.
Okay.
Why would you say anything otherwise?
Missed the last meeting.
Yeah, he was there.
I was not here.
No, Councilwoman, you're not chopped liver.
Of course not.
I still don't think he gets it.
You guys can talk.
Yes.
It's open for.
We'll talk about it later.
Thank you.
That'll work.
Thank you.
My neighbor.
All right, let's move over to approval of council minutes. Do I hear a motion to approve?
Motion to approve the minutes of November 12th.
Second,
Second.
any discussion? Call the vote?
Vice Mayor Vasquez.
Yes.
Councilman Santeen.
Yes.
Councilwoman Bravo.
Yes.
Councilman Fahet.
Yes.
Mayor Mitchell.
Yes.
Motion carries.
The motion carries.
Thank you. Okay, reports and commission. This is exciting. We've got 2 of them tonight. This is an annual report by the Historic Preservation Board Chair Jim Watson. You've got the floor, sir.
Give you an update. Good evening, everyone. First, we welcome our newest member to the board from Jackie Bravo's district or recommendation, Juan Calvo. During his career, he has worked with Arquitectonica. He has worked with Oppenheim Architecture and currently has a private practice here in Miami Springs. He's also a professor at the School of Architecture at the University of Miami. Mr. Calvo's knowledge significantly enhances the expertise of our board, so we welcome him very much so. And we also we have one vacancy still, and we're hoping that that Victor will be able to make a recommendation.
Working on it.
Then we'll be full strength. We can secondly, we continue to add new information and update the online preservation guide that we've established. We're also exploring how to develop rack cards that would be placed at the information counter and in the building department. That way it will lead answers and questions to the website. I think I'm catching, there's something going around everywhere, I think, so I'm clogging up here, excuse me. The Historic Preservation Board has also proposed placement of state of Florida historical markers in the Springs. The first of the year, we forwarded the application for 2 markers that will be placed next to the entry bridges of the city. The funds for those markers were approved earlier by the council last year. During the summer, we forwarded the application for a marker to be placed at the entrance of the Curtis Mansion. All 3, and also in regards to that one, funding for that marker was acquired privately by the board. All 3 applications are in the city manager's office waiting for review and signature. The board has also processed 2 certificates of appropriateness during the year. And lastly, we also are currently in the process of nominating a new site to add to the historic registry. Short and sweet.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Jim.
You're welcome.
Comments, questions? Mayor?
No. Wonderful.
All right.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Jim.
Thank you, Jim.
Elders.
Thank
Alex Aguilar, the annual report from the Centennial Board.
He's not here.
Is he here?
Nope.
Not here?
Nope.
Okay. All right, now moving on to public hearings. We need to open this up for public hearing.
Sure, let me read the item for
sorry?
the record. I'll read the item for the record.
Yes, thank you. Read the item.
So ordinance is for second reading. An ordinance of the city of Miami Springs, Florida, comprehensively amending section 150-070.1 Miami Springs Gateway Overlay District within Article 7 Business District of Chapter 150 Zoning Code of the city's Code of Ordinances, providing for conflicts, providing for severability, providing for codification, and providing for an effective date.
Okay. We have to ask for public hearing.
You can open for.
Okay. If anyone would like to speak to this point, please come up. Okay, seeing none, I'll close public hearings. Would someone like to make a motion on this ordinance?
Motion to approve 8A.
Have a motion, second?
We'll open it up.
Second, Mayor, would you like to second?
Is this I'm sorry.
Gateway
Gateway.
overlay.
The gateway overlaid.
Yes, I'll put the second.
Okay, now we can, comments, questions?
Just if we can have Sylvia come up and just give a quick recap of
Changes.
what the changes are and what maybe the biggest highlights are. That's gonna be either positive or negative. It seems like everything's pretty much the same with a lot of changes at the same time.
Yes, good evening, everyone. First, I wanted to start by wishing the mayor well. Been a little under the weather myself for about 3 weeks, and so I hope you're gonna get better, and also that I will miss all of you that are going of the council. Just not to have anyone feel left out.
Well, we'll be around, we'll be around for a little bit.
Oh, yeah, I know. Anyway, just a quick summary. As you know, we had a very spirited conversation at the last meeting about this ordinance. What we came out with at the very end were a few changes. Some of them are more substantial than others, but I think that the core changes are still there the same way. And I think, as I put it in one of the briefings, our goal, which was to clean it up, make it easier, make it clearer, make it for the benefit of the administration, staff, developers, and the residents, something that when you read it is a little bit easier flow, a little bit easier to understand what the vision is, what the goals are, and the tools and the requirements that you have to meet in order to develop or redevelop in this area. The major changes, I'm not going to put it up. If you want me to put it up, I will, but I just want my memo in front of me so I can kind of go through them. On page 1 of 21, which is the attachment A to the staff report, line, I hope it's still the same, I'm not sure, but on mine it was line 18, and it refers to figure 1 as well as the text. The direction was to return to the original northwestern boundary of the district. So we're going back to Nakota Drive. And that description in the text as well as in the map have been adjusted accordingly. Going to what in my document was page 5, and I'm sorry because I'm not looking at both of these. It's too small a screen for me to look at 2 things at the same time. I apologize. Page 5 of 21, lines 162, 172, 185, and 187. We added some clarification of wording to several of the conditional use criteria. I think the mayor was the one who introduced these changes. She wanted to talk about more clearly about, what we were expecting regarding impacts from traffic generation and access. from the impacts of certain architectural features and signage treatments, and consideration of the impacts of development on natural resources and the environment. So we've added some of that language in there to make sure that that's clear. Moving on to pages 8 through 14 of 21, that's the whole section that has the table that has the basically the FAR incentive elements. We have changed some of the language in the art in public places element to make sure it's clear that the council reserves its authority to approve, reject, ask for substitution, or accept a payment instead of a proposed artwork. Also clarified that the city manager has authority to do the same further into the development process, past the council's approval. And we introduced some language at your direction to clarify the responsibility for the ongoing maintenance of any artwork that is approved by the council under this incentive. Likewise, we made a small change at, I believe, also the mayor's suggestion with regards to the green building certification requirements, clarifying that the city manager has the authority to approve the certifying agency for such certification programs. And last in that section, the whole language, the whole section that we had on land assemblage was eliminated from the table, as well as the additional incentives that we had below that, which were from page 14 of 21, lines 292 through 338. And there's two more changes. One is regarding the parking requirements section, page 16 of 21, lines 370 through 374. You know, there's a list of factors to be taken into consideration when you're looking at the parking sort of a waiver of the parking requirements. And two of those that were kind of highlighted as perhaps not useful in this case were the bicycle parking and the distance to or inclusion of the bus and trolley stops. So those were eliminated from that list. The final change is an editorial change, and it just had to do with, you know, a lack of award in the additional parking requirements and restrictions. So those are the changes that were introduced. The list is relatively short. The changes are not earth shattering. We're not, you know, changing the structure. Everything else remains the same. And, you know, if you have any questions for me, I'm happy to answer them.
So the boundaries remain the same.
The boundary remains the same as it is today.
Okay.
Okay, we have a motion on the floor?
Yeah, we have. a
Yes.
motion.
Motion on the
Can
floor?
I
Yeah,
just
please.
comment? So
Yes, please.
just for the record, so we had a lengthy discussion about this at the local planning agency meeting prior to the meeting of the first reading. And one of the things that came up, which is really the main difference between what was being proposed in the first reading and the second reading, was exactly that, right? Kind of taking a wait and see approach on expanding the overlay district by incorporating that city block where the old Bell South building is there on Nakota. And then the other thing that I had a concern about was moving towards incentives for property assemblage, because again, I think that taking a wait and see approach to see how everything will work out in the overlay district. I was actually leafing through the old Dover report from 2001, and it talked about that at that time it was at a historical low of retail demand. That was a lot of what was the impetus behind creating the overlay district to try to promote that kind of economic development in the downtown area in the central business district. And I think that we've seen a lot of shops pop up. We still have a lot of restaurants and retail that are going to be opening up in the town center. And once everything is up and running, and I think that we see how traffic will be affected and parking and everything, I think that would be the prudent time to consider expanding the overlay and doing additional incentives for property assemblage. So I'm happy that those things were removed, but we did do a lot of cleaning up in the overlay district that was necessary. So I'm happy to support it.
Any other discussion? Mayor?
No, I just want to say that really, basically, that is what we did. There was a lot of items in the original overlay district ordinance that were unclear, and some other items that really didn't apply to us. You know, they are not something that would benefit our situation. So I think we've cleared those up with the ordinance. And I agree with Councilman Fahet. At this time, we'll just leave the district the same as it is and see what happens. There's always the opportunity to expand it down the road if, you know, if the opportunity arises.
Nothing else? Then let's call the vote.
Vice Mayor Vasquez,
Yes.
Councilman Santeen,
Yes.
Councilwoman Bravo,
Yes.
Councilman Fahet,
Yes.
Mayor Mitchell.
Yes.
The motion carries.
Thank you.
Okay.
All right, let's move on to the consent agenda. Is there any item that anyone wants to pull out for separate discussion, or do we want to take them all together? I'm open to a motion either way.
Motion to approve 9A through E.
Is there a second?
I second that motion.
Okay. Any discussion? Let's call the vote.
Okay.
Vice Mayor Vasquez,
Yes.
Councilman Santeen,
Yes.
Councilwoman Bravo,
Yes.
Councilman Fahet,
Yes.
Mayor Mitchell.
Yes.
The motion carries.
Very good. Thank you. Let's move on to other business. 12A has already been addressed. 12B is a request by Councilwoman Bravo to discuss Deviceable Sports Solutions. You have the floor.
Yes, thank you. So basically, we've received in the last couple of months, I would say now on and off. I brought this to the dais to just get a recap and a report from Valiente Group because I think that it's time just to kind of create some sort of transparency and understand what is going on and the inconsistencies between the community and the Valiente Group, which are the new company that we hired to take care of our tennis courts and their program. So I think we've gotten enough emails and back and forth. I know administration has spoken several times with them and also our recreation department director. So I just want to give everybody a fair chance to explain what exactly is going on, what is working out for them, what is not is working out for them. What I do know from the get-go right now, hospitality is a very important component to servicing any community, and irrespective of the business is directly linked to hospitality. So I just we are by contract supposed to be the group is Valiente Tennis is supposed to come to the council at least for one time a year. Just to see what's happening. I called them a little bit earlier. I think we've been under contract for now for like 5 or 6 months. Okay. Even though we've already been talking earlier on, but officially we've been under contract since July. So I provided a memo based on their agreement. There's certain bullet points that I've requested for the Valiente Group, also known as Deviceable Sports, to come and inform us of what's going on really with what you guys have been doing, because you guys did a tremendous presentation. I mean, I was on board, but I also like to get reported back and see what's going on. So if you guys want to come up now and
Through the chair, are they going to do their presentation now? Is that?
yeah, this is what this is about. Did you want to move an item forward before?
Well, there's a request for a discussion.
There's a, right, so.
The discussion is, it says here, as per agreement, 2.35, consultants shall make reasonable appearance before council to provide information regarding facility operations, activities. So they're just giving us a report of what's been going on.
Shouldn't that go ahead.
This is a proper procedure.
They were informed to come to the meeting today, so they may not have I wasn't sure exactly where we were going with this. You wanted to bring them in so they can come and address, councils, any concerns,
No, I
questions. They can give an update on their programs, but they don't have a full-blown presentation right now at this moment.
We don't need a full-blown presentation. This was provided over a week ago and they were expected to come and to come. I mean, nobody can answer these questions but them. So I don't know why.
You can ask.
I would like
ask-
to hear from them. I would like to hear from them. We've had several, concerns from residents and, I think we need to give them the opportunity to address them. So I would certainly like to hear from Valiente.
Just to be clear, Mayor and council, that's fine. Absolutely. Ask questions. There's been a number of emails coming through. But as far as a formal presentation, I just wanted to make sure there's.
I don't look for a presentation. I'm
okay.
just looking.
Yeah,
for
answer
answers to
questions. That's fine.
To what's.
Good evening, council members. I just want to let you know, well, like the city manager noted, we have not been notified. A week ago, we were notified around 12:30. And obviously, we are very busy. Today is on Monday, as you might know, busiest day of the week. So I barely had an hour to put together something. So if this is not to your standards, or if it doesn't solve all your questions, just keep that in mind that we didn't have enough time for anything.
So can I interrupt? I just want to chime in. So if they contractually have to come and give us an update, like I feel like that should be set up through staff and put on the agenda. This is a discussion item. And
This when they come up contractually, that's more to give an update on the program.
right.
This is a request for them to come in. We've been receiving some emails, some concerns, some complaints, and here we can just talk about it and just move forward. That's what I understood what the intention was, Council Member Bravo.
To the chair.
Hold-
In
hold on,
essence, you
hold on,
are
hold on,
correct.
hold on, hold
But
on.
because we couldn't
Hold
get that
on, hold on.
request soon enough, that's why I
Councilwoman.
put it on the table.
Councilwoman,
So, you know.
city manager, is this an appropriate discussion right now? Given what the city manager just said.
I'm not sure what exactly we're
Okay, I'm
discussing.
not, I'm not sure because I think, well, I don't want to speak for.
Through the chair,
Go.
listen, this is what we're gonna do. You guys are gonna come back at the next meeting.
Yes.
I think
Okay,
that would be
because I don't think it's fair to you and it wasn't fair to me because I did put a lot of
problem.
work into this to get you guys ready and come. So the mere fact that you were notified today is not gonna be effective. So we'll go ahead and bench this item and bring them back to the next meeting.
And through the chair, I appreciate you bringing up the discussion point. I thought what we were going to do is we were going to discuss scheduling them to come in. We have received some emails, right? I don't think it's fair to have, well, first of all, I don't think it's fair that we asked them to speak and they were notified today to come and
Correct.
speak, right? And
That's my
basically they're
concern.
coming to speak and respond to some concerns that some residents have emailed to us that are not public. I think that the appropriate thing to do is what you just said. Let's have them come to the next meeting. And then that way, if some of the residents want to come and voice their concerns during open forum, I think that like the discussion could be had kind of like in an organized public way, rather than have them last minute prepare to respond to some things that nobody saw except the emails that were sent to the council. So I'm glad that you brought this up. And if contractually they have to come up, that can count towards it. But I think that they deserve the opportunity to prepare for it. And I think that everybody deserves to hear what the concerns are that they're going to be responding to so that we can have a fruitful discussion.
Councilwoman Bravo, I understand that you're in agreement that to have them come back.
Correct. And
Okay.
through the chair, I mean, I didn't know that they were notified today. I sent this over a week ago.
Okay.
So this is what you need. You can come and get it so you guys can be ready for everything it is that we're looking for. Here you go. I'm sorry.
Thank you, Councilwoman.
Sorry. Oh,
And
okay.
We will,
All
we
right.
will,
I wouldn't do
Come on,
that
it's
to
an agenda.
anybody. I don't expect you to
all right.
come and give
And
me
we will notify you the next
Two more
meeting.
things before we leave. I did review this very fast, but this has nothing to do with the concerns that you just mentioned from the users.
That
This is actually specific points from our contract.
Right. And with that together, I'm just piggybacking on why it is that my concerns are arising. So now that I have you here to open up that discussion, I went ahead and I took a look at your agreement because I want to see the parts that are linked to our actual community involvement, what's going on there.
I reviewed this, as I told you, and it's asking for written documents, printed documents. Obviously, there was no time for that, but again, I reviewed these, and there's nothing about complaints in what you request in these 2 pages.
I'm not just talking about complaints. I wanna update on your progress, and together with whatever complaints, they may not be complaints. Maybe there's something that we don't know. I need to give you a fair chance to come and explain to our community
Gentlemen,
what's
I
going on.
think, I
that's all.
think that
Yeah.
we
let's
agree
bench the
that we,
item.
we're gonna give you more time. JC, we'll work with them, get them on the next agenda for.
The next
early
meeting is in
January.
January.
January
January.
14th.
And then you guys can,
13.
and
Okay,
we'll
just-
continue the conversation there.
Okay.
Let's just leave it there.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Request by Councilman Santeen to discuss the November 1st, 2025 event.
My request is to approve the second annual vintage motorcycle and car show for Glenn Curtis. It was a success the first time. Didn't have a lot of time to prepare the organizers, but they still did a great job considering it was 2.5 hours of rain. So it definitely has the legs to continue. So I was hoping that and JC has spoken to some of the organizers to give them more time to publicize and to get the word out. Most of the feedback, I would say 100% of the feedback has been exactly what we wanted to do, was to showcase our little town to a lot of the people from the outside who haven't seen what a great quality and charming town we have to offer. And so all the comments were exactly that, what a great town, what great people, police were wonderful. Everybody was just such a great place to go and do this type of event, the town square, the circle. So we just want to do it with a little bit more time. So in our case, I think it's successful enough what we want to do, which is continue to highlight Glenn Curtis and the history of Miami Springs. That was obviously the highlight of that one, with the motorcycle coming down from Ohio, the one that he broke the world record. Maybe we'll have another bigger surprise on the second one. So I just wanted to give them, the confidence to continue to advertise and get this, future show in the works earlier than later.
You want to make that a motion?
So
I'd like to make that motion to approve the second annual Glenn Curtis Vintage Motorcycle and Car Show on November 1st, 2025.
I'll second that with discussion.
Okay.
Thank you.
Discussion.
Okay.
Thank you.
So I thought it was a great event. I was there. We at one point, I think we were all huddled under an umbrella together as it was raining. But I thought it was a really neat vibe. It was definitely different from the car shows we normally had because there were a lot more motorcycles, but it was just a different crowd. And I was really happy to see a group that does a lot of stuff in Broward and Palm Beach come down. But everybody that I spoke to loved it. I thought it was a great event. Just wanted to have a question. So for this inaugural one that we did do it in lieu of one of the Jumping Jacks car shows, because we were doing 2 of those
That
a
is
year.
correct. We did, usually there was one also around the winter time, and we took that one and
So-
switched it over.
Would this approval mean that we're deciding to move forward doing that, like one of these guys and one of Jumping Jacks?
That's what I'm taking away from this.
Was that what you were proposing?
We're not asking for anything in the summer, which is the one that you're talking about. They do on the 4th of July weekend.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's.
So we'll still
there's
be
no
doing,
need.
so we'll just be doing one rather than 2 of the Jumping Jacks car shows.
Correct.
Which personally, I think it mixes it up. I appreciate the Jumping Jacks car show. But I thought that this was a real good event and a real nice vibe. So I'd be happy. I just wanted to be clear about that we will be then doing one of each per year if we approve this moving forward.
Okay.
Through the chair.
Yes.
I think I was the Debbie Downer that voted against this item when they first approved it. And my main concern was really because this is a private entity hosting an event on city property for closure. I want to know, I heard it was it was a great event, but I don't know, I wanted to know ultimately what the city operational cost was for that closure and for that event, because it's not like the city is closing down for an actual city event. These are people that do these functions to get paid. They're not doing this for free. So if we can get some sort of, contribution back to the city, maybe to offset a couple of the costs, because they are expenses, and we are closing a whole circle. We're not talking about Santa at the gazebo. We're not talking about a sea tree lighting. We're not talking about, this is not technically, it's a nice asset to have but it's not a city sponsored function. This is a private venue, and someone is coming in here to make money, and also to showcase the city, which is it's great. But I just want to know what are we going to do for future? Because I think I've asked this many times before.
Through the chair.
Yes.
Well, first of all, this is a nonprofit organization who did this for two causes, one being the centennial and nonprofit. This is nonprofit.
Okay.
Nonprofit. One is for the centennial. The other one is for Fathers Against Fentanyl. And of course, like everything else, we keep talking about this stuff. Part of marketing in the city and trying to work to improve attention to the city in a positive way is that the city also has to put a little bit of skin in the game. And all these type of things. Every city in the United States does it. Yeah, the police is part of it, and that's an expense, and some of the public works, but that's part of doing business. And I'm sorry to say that, but it helps you. It's a cost to do it, but at the end of the day, it's an intrinsic value that the city is getting, that it's kind of hard to pinpoint a dollar number, but we're all benefiting it probably in a lot of things that we enjoy the most, which is our home values.
What is the what? The home values are linked to the circle?
Of course.
Um,
The activities in the town
Promotional.
attract a certain residents to come to this community because it's a community based. Just like Coconut Grove, Father's Fentanyl.
Through the chair, I think that this is, that are sponsoring events that draw visitors. That's something new for the city. And that draw visitors to the city is something that other cities certainly do. They invest in this, and it helps promote our city, bring interest from other visitors that then can perhaps use our restaurants and our shops. So, particularly something that is so in line with our centennial and our celebration of our historic background of the city. So I'm in favor of this.
Councilman, go ahead.
Thank you. Yeah, I think when this was first proposed to us, it was novel because it's a motorcycle and car show, but it was kind of a different niche than what we were having. And we did have a concern about additional closures, particularly in the fall when you have things happening with Halloween and now closer to the holidays. But the reason that we approved it is that it was going to be in lieu of one of the two Jumping Jacks car shows, because we were doing two Jumping Jacks car shows. And I don't see a difference in terms of what we do to close the street and have public works and police, the things we do for Jumping Jacks versus what we'd be doing for this event. And so that's why we approved it the first time, is that we were going to be replacing one. It was in lieu of a car show date that we already had earmarked. So really this isn't it isn't an additional it's not an additional event and it shouldn't be an additional cost. It's in lieu of one of two similar car shows that we were doing. This is just to kind of mix it up and be able to enjoy both and have the residents, because the residents do enjoy it. And I also thought I had some residents that really told me that they enjoyed that it was in the morning rather than in the evening like the Jumping Jacks shows are. So I think that it's worth doing, and I don't see it as an additional burden on the city financially in order to do it.
Was this a one-day event? I don't even remember.
Okay.
Okay, so I guess. I
Correct,
mean,
one day.
We have a motion on the floor. Any other?
But I'll get you, I mean, I will get the council, the cost, I'll speak with police and public works, see what it is, and I'll email it to you guys, so you guys have it.
All right, let's call the question. Call the roll.
Vice Mayor Vasquez?
Yes.
Councilman Santeen?
Yes.
Councilwoman Bravo?
No.
Councilman Behet?
Yes.
Mayor Mitchell?
Yes.
Information.
The motion carries 4-1.
Councilman Santeen?
Well, I made this request and actually, a lot of the concern has been with, a lot of the existing businesses and the use of their bathrooms, but I've also gotten some information on these, trailered, bathrooms and how they've become also a problem to the organizers. So I'd like to just, for right now, a further discussion, get more information. I'd like to bench this item for now, and we'll discuss it another time.
Okay. Thank you, Council.
To consider, that's an
All
important.
right, let's,
No, I know, I just.
let's move on to, reports and recommendations. City Attorney? Right? No?
There's none.
No, okay, thank
Yeah,
you.
like on over.
City
then,
Manager.
Vice Mayor.
Yes, I have a few things to report. First and foremost, I will obviously address Factory Town. As you may have seen or read, we've received a number of complaints over the weekend. It didn't seem to be as bad as the Halloween event, so some adjustments have been made. However, it still did impact a number of residents, including some here present tonight. It's in speaking with the sound engineer that we met with, sound is the way sound travels is kind of weird. So you'll hear it in one house, and the other house, maybe as the sound as it approaches your house is getting blocked by something. So it affects each property differently. So that's why when earlier today, Heidi and I were kind of mapping it out, see where the complaints were coming in from. It was all over the place. We're like, all right, so the houses closest to Hialeah, I'm not getting any complaints from. And then as you move further along, then you start seeing some, and some are just even like on the other side of the city. So it, this is a nonstop, it's a constant battle where the police has been in contact with the folks at Factory Town at least 14 times over the last 3 days to tell them, hey, make adjustments. In their defense, they answer the phone, except for one time. I think you had to leave a message twice, but out of the 14 times, twice they didn't answer. They called back after, but they answered the phone and they were like, hey, we'll be there. We're going to make adjustments. But I don't know what those adjustments are. It's tough because what bothers one person, what affects somebody's sleep, may not be what affects somebody else. So there's some people that may hear and they're like, yeah, it's not a big deal. I guess, so this is going to be a battle. It's going to take a lot of communication between us and Factory Town. But we're committed to making the best of it. And we'll see where we go from here.
JC, would you like to speak to the acoustic engineer and the recommendations they made around instrumentation?
Yes, well, that's the other thing. We got to look. We showed them. We told them what piece of equipment that we had, and he was like, "You might want to get another piece of equipment." So we're gonna have to we're gonna upgrade our decibel meter reader. That includes both of the frequencies, or that includes the frequencies that we need to read. That we're currently in the process of ordering that. They're in speaking with Factory Town. They've been very responsive to us. They said, hey, we have other things that we can do to mitigate. And I think we're going to be like I was telling Heidi earlier today, I think it's time that we maybe implement or ask them to do those things. They were talking about some kind of sound curtain or whatever, and would like for them to see what that does. I'd like to see it.
Did the acoustic engineer take a look at our ordinance and our decibel thresholds? Did he have any comment, or she? I don't know.
Actually, he did actually be prior to our meeting. he did look at our code. And he says that ours, and Heidi, correct me if I'm wrong, he said that ours is basically the same as most other municipalities out there. It's about 65, what is it, 65 decibels?
He explained, so a few things. Our ordinance has a very objective standard as opposed to a subjective, like what a reasonable person might be hearing. So we have an actual decibel level that would be considered a nuisance within the city. What our ordinance provides has been used sort of as a standard, as a measuring guide of what we would consider within our own city to be a nuisance. We cannot enforce our ordinance against a property owner outside of the city. That's why we've resorted to other avenues in the past. But what he did get into it was a very technical conversation. But he did explain how, as JC was saying, how the sound can travel differently, and affect different property owners who can be immediately next to one another, and one owner can hear the sound and the other might not, and they can just hear different frequencies depending on what's going on. He did share with us some technical aspects on what we could have in our ordinance. I don't know that we need to amend our ordinance to deal with this issue. I actually don't think we need to amend it at all, because again, we can enforce our ordinance outside of the city, right? So it's not going to address this issue. But I think he did provide us with some very valuable insight into how to measure the sound. And the different types of frequencies, whether you're hearing like melodies versus bass level sound. So that type of insight, I think, was really valuable in how we sort of executed things this time around. And I think with, I know budgeting is always important, but I think with some of that in terms of the equipment that we're using will be helpful. But I also think that, we met with Factory Town's attorneys and their representatives, and they were very receptive to responding to the residents and wanting to understand where the sounds were coming from. And I would urge the residents who perhaps feel that they have called in the past and nothing has happened, I would urge you to please continue to call the police line so that we can continue to know what the issues are. Some of the feedback that we received was it's helpful for the event production company to know, are you hearing a melody or are you hearing bass level sound? Because that helps them adjust. So we realize it's an issue. We're scratching our heads trying to find solutions. But I think improvement is happening.
Mayor, you have any question or comment?
No, I think this is just a difficult situation. It's, our sound ordinance of 60 decibels. We already know from past experience that the measurements didn't exceed this. Nonetheless, our residents are being disturbed, and we have every right, our residents have every right to have peace and quiet at their homes. The base levels are a different decibel level. They're measured. We have dBA decibel readings in the A level, and I think what the sound engineer has suggested is decibel readings to also be in the C level. The dBA levels are what more closely approximates human hearing. So that's usually what's being used, but we'll continue to work at it. Our goal is that no one in our city should be disturbed by noise from a surrounding municipality. And I appreciate that, our city manager and our attorneys are working closely, and our police are working very closely with Factory Town, who is causing the disturbance, and that they're agreeing to try to resolve it. It appears from all intentions in the past and current that they really do want to resolve this and not have problems in our community.
Thank you.
Through the chair.
Okay, and so I do want to reiterate, something that Heidi said to the residents. I mean, the next time there's Factory Town has an event, and if you hear them, please call us. Even though you think that nothing's gonna happen, it is, because we're documenting and we're communicating with them directly right then and there, letting them know there's an issue, and then it gives them the opportunity to make adjustments on the spot. And that is really important.
Yeah, and
Go ahead.
thank you. And I would chime in that when residents call, it provides us, we document it, it's data that we can provide. Our attorneys are speaking with their attorneys. And that's the reason that we got the acoustic engineer to because it was clear, and I know that our ordinance decibel threshold is not valuable as it pertains to this, with the exception that we're trying to use it as more data. We were going out and taking readings to see, so that we could show them like, hey, these are instances where we're getting readings that are above. Now that we know that our threshold for decibels is kind of standard across municipalities, we also discovered in talking to the acoustic engineer that we need some instruments that will get other frequencies and other sound ranges. So this is all part of residents calling and us documenting that, us getting the instrumentation needed to be able to measure different frequencies. This is all part of us to be able to provide the data that we need to take to them to ensure that they are complying with what they are offering to do, which is, curb this nuisance for our residents. So thank you to the staff and to our city attorney for working on this.
Thank you. I
Through the
have two more-
chair, and I just wanted to emphasize what the councilman and also our city attorney said to residents. And I know this is frustrating, but it is so important that as we continue forward, if you're still experiencing noise every single time that our police have a record of it, because unless we can document, these are the calls we're getting still. It doesn't matter, for us to say, oh, well, we're still getting some resident complaints. That's not going to go anywhere. We have to have documentation of location and times and dates that we are getting calls. So in moving forward and resolving this and certainly down the road, if we have to take legal action, further legal action.
Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you.
JC, more points?
Yes, two more items. And the mayor will probably want to know this, because her and I have been working closely on the appropriations and the legislative agenda for the city. That will be coming in January. The state, just after the elections, things kind of slowed down, and they appointed the chairs of the committees. And we just got the forms from the House to submit our appropriations. They're due in February, so in January we'll bring it to the council for approval and submit it in February. Lastly, I did want to announce that this is Chief Deal's last regular council meeting as Chief of Police, and he's right there. This isn't his farewell right now. There's no plaque right now at this moment, but that'll come. But I did want to take a moment to remind the council of that. And also, I did want to point out that our next chief is also in here, and that is Lieutenant Matt Castillo. And I want to welcome him as well.
Yay.
After much consideration, I had 3 internal candidates apply. I went through a couple of exercises, including a panel discussion with the chiefs from Hialeah, Doral, the former chief of Medley, and Virginia Gardens. And well, Matt Castillo just stood out above the rest, and he will be our next chief, homegrown product. But that'll be more to come when there'll be more to come and more discussion at probably the beginning of the year when we swear him in. Thank you.
Well, just keep it short and sweet. Thank you, Chief. Welcome, Chief.
And that's my report.
Thank you. Let's go with city council. I'm sorry. Oh, Tammy. Sorry.
I just want to remind everybody that we're still collecting toys with our holiday toy drive. That any unwrapped toys should be given to the community center on or before December 20th. And then also we do have this coming weekend, we have our holiday golf cart parade on the 21st. So the kickoff is at 6:30 p.m. That's it.
Thank you, Tammy.
Happy holidays.
Happy holidays. Councilman Santeen.
As many of you always hear from me, that this is my favorite time of the year because this little town of ours gets highlighted to the best. And these activities, all these events is a reason why we are so special. Considering all that, go out there and enjoy yourselves. Happy holidays, happy new year, and stay safe, Springs.
Thank you, sir. Councilwoman Bravo.
All right, so I want to congratulate our new chief, Matt Castillo. We went to elementary school together at Springview, and we are both serving our communities. So you kind of stay here. And what else here? I think that's it. I want to wish everybody happy holidays. Obviously, thank you, Chief Jimmy. I know I've driven you crazy, and well, the time has come for both of us to depart. And I think that's it. I don't think there's anything else I need to report at this time.
Thank you.
Oh, and Heidi, thank you for the cookies. This may be dinner, I'm not sure yet. And that's it. I hope everybody has a good night.
Councilman Fahad.
Oh, wait, one more thing. Sorry. I know Tammy mentioned that the golf cart parade is on the 21st. And I want to reiterate, on the Gazette, the print says December 16th. So we just want to clarify that it's December 21st. Okay? Because I want to see a lot of people out there. That's it.
Can I chime in real quick?
Yes.
Sorry, but I'm going to hear it on Wednesday in my Rotary meeting. But I don't bring this up.
You're going to make up for it right now.
Yeah, right now, December 21st. One of the other events that the Rotary is doing in behalf of our foundation for high school scholarships, we're having the Dashing Through the Springs. But once again, to highlight our beautiful little town, we're having a 5K run and walk that will start at the Curtis Mansion landmark and will finish at the Curtis Mansion landmark. So please look at the flyer that we have, and there's also, I think, a banner where you can do a barcode and register. So you still have time. Thank you.
Councilman Fahad.
Okay, thank you. As happy as we are for Lieutenant Castillo, who is going to be starting as our police chief starting January 1st. Chief Deal is the original homegrown, the OG as the youngsters call it. He also went to Springview. My mom taught he and his wife Spanish. So we and as JC said, this is your last, it's not your farewell yet, but is your last council meeting. I'm sure you will tell everyone that that's the thing that you'll miss the most of this job, is coming to these council meetings. But we've been honored to have you serve this city. You are an institution in this city, and we appreciate you. And we're happy for Matt Castillo as well, who reminded me when I got on the council. I was like, you remember I used to beat you in 3-on-3 basketball at the old rec center? I was like, oh God, I tried forgetting that, but yes. Merry Christmas to all and happy holidays. Happy New Year. Thank you.
Thank you. Mayor.
Thank you, Vice Mayor. I just want to thank Chief Deal for all the years. You've been a chief a short time, but you've certainly been part of our community, of our police community for many, many years, and protecting and serving all of us. So we're very appreciative of that. We'll miss you. We're excited about our new chief. Welcome and congratulations to our new chief, Castillo. And we look forward to in January, the official proclamation of this. Also, I just want to take this moment to wish everyone happy holidays, to thank our residents, our city staff, and those of you on the council, my colleagues on the council. As we end the year, I can tell you that I'm so proud to serve this community and to work with all of you, trying to serve our community and doing the best. We have a passion for it, as our residents do and as our city employees do, and I'm very grateful for that. So happy holidays.
Thank you, Mayor. All right, well, so I don't have much to report except that my wife suggested something a little different for this Christmas season. We like to take little breaks and binge and watch some movies. And so we're calling this the 12 Days of Christmas. And among the four of us, we picked our favorites. And we started watching the other night. For the record, my favorite is White Christmas with Bing Crosby. I grew up with that. Anyway, thank you, Chief. And thank you, everyone. Merry Christmas is what I celebrate, but, Happy Hanukkah, Kwanzaa, Ramadan, whatever you celebrate, a happy holidays to all of you. Thank you very much. And with this, meeting is closed.
Thank you, Vice Mayor.
Shred that. Take care, bro.